Never trust a perfect smile. That's what I learned the hard way. When I first met Chloe, she seemed like the kind of woman you'd only see in dreams. Confident, smart, and always a step ahead. I met her at a bookstore, of all places, where she caught me reading the same novel she had in her hands. We laughed about it, exchanged numbers, and from that day on, my life was never the same. The first few months were magic. She'd text me good morning, call me late at night, and somehow make every ordinary day feel special. I thought I'd finally found the one, someone who truly saw me. But then, little cracks began to show. She became distant, her phone glued to her hand, and when I asked who she was texting, she'd smile and say, "Just work." Work. That was her favorite excuse. Late meetings, sudden trips, endless deadlines. I wanted to believe her, but something inside me screamed that she was hiding something. One night, when she said she was working late again, I drove to her office. Her car wasn't there. My heart sank, but I needed proof, not assumptions. I drove around for hours searching, until I saw her car parked outside a dimly lit cafe. Through the window, I saw her laughing with another man. His hand was on hers. I froze. My chest tightened, and I could barely breathe. That night changed everything. But instead of confronting her immediately, I decided to play her game, to find out who that man really was, and what she was hiding from me. The next morning, I acted like nothing had happened. I kissed her goodbye, told her to have a great day, and watched her leave. But inside, I was burning. I spent hours digging through her social media, old photos, even LinkedIn, anywhere I could find a clue. That's when I found him. His name was Evan, a coworker, single, charming, and from what I could tell, her project manager. Over the next few weeks, I became a detective in my own relationship. Every detail mattered, every text tone, every call she ignored, every girls' night out. I started keeping a journal, noting her patterns. I wasn't trying to trap her. I just wanted the truth. Then came the breaking point. One evening, she left her phone on the table while taking a shower. My heart raced. I told myself not to do it, but my hands moved on their own. I opened her messages, and there it was, dozens of texts from Evan. Flirty, personal, intimate. "Last night was perfect," one read. My stomach turned. My hand shook as I scrolled, realizing how deep it went. Photos, dates, even plans for a trip she told me was for work. I dropped the phone, sat in silence, and let the reality sink in. But I wasn't going to explode. Not yet. She'd built this web of lies, and I wanted her to get caught in it herself. The next day, I started my plan. I pretended to believe every word she said. When she mentioned another late meeting, I smiled, kissed her cheek, and wished her luck. Inside, I was counting down the seconds. I followed her that night, staying just far enough behind not to be noticed. She didn't go to her office. She didn't go to a meeting. She went to Evan's apartment. They walked in together, laughing, her hand resting comfortably on his arm, like they'd done it 100 times before. I stood in my car, headlights off, watching from a distance. The world around me faded. All I could hear was my heartbeat pounding in my ears. I could have gone up there. I could have knocked on his door, screamed, demanded answers. But I didn't. Not yet. Revenge wasn't about rage. It was about timing. That night, I started collecting evidence. Screenshots, photos, messages. Everything. I was building a story that even she couldn't deny. And when the time came, she wouldn't just lose me, she'd lose everything she thought she controlled. A week later, I invited her over for dinner, her favorite meal, candles, music, the perfect setup for what she'd never see coming. She smiled when she arrived, kissed me, and said, "You're so sweet." I almost laughed. Halfway through dinner, I said calmly, "So how's Evan?" Her fork froze. The color drained from her face. What are you talking about?" she stammered. I leaned back, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "I know everything." Then I placed my phone on the table, hit play, and watched as her own messages appeared on screen. Her face twisted, fear, guilt, shock. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. "Save it! I'm not here to fight. I'm here to end this." She begged me to listen, said it was a mistake, said she loved me. But I didn't feel anger anymore, just emptiness. The woman I thought I loved never existed. She was an illusion I built in my own head. When she finally left that night, I deleted her number, blocked her everywhere, and sat in silence. For the first time in months, my mind was quiet. Months passed. I focused on myself, rebuilt my life piece by piece. It wasn't easy. There were nights I missed her, days when I almost called, but then I'd remember that night at the cafe, and the feeling would fade. One day, I ran into Evan. He looked miserable, like a man who'd lost everything. Turns out, Chloe had done to him exactly what she did to me. She moved on, leaving chaos behind her. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger or sadness. I felt free. Sometimes, losing someone isn't the worst thing that can happen. It's the beginning of finally finding yourself.